Hello, lovely people. It's incredible Mavna and incredible Yao.
Yeah.
We're happy to come your way again today. Do you want to introduce our topic for today?
So today we're talking about the impact or the effect of abuse, on children. I mean, in marriages. Yeah, that's what we're talking about
Yeah.
today. Yeah,
The effects of domestic
abuse.
abuse
Yeah,
on children. And usually when you say domestic abuse, a lot of people think about domestic violence. It's not the same. Domestic violence is a subset of domestic abuse. So we can see it's on rampant now, especially because of COVID-19. A lot of people are spending much time at home,
Yeah.
working from home, spending more time with family,
Yeah.
and domestic violence and domestic abuse is on the rise. So we
Yeah.
thought, you know what, we'll just
yeah,
educate some people on it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this video will be a blessing to someone.
fantastic. That's very, very true. There's a pandemic presented us quite a number of challenges, and one of the key is what we are. One of the key challenges is what we are touching on today, and we believe that it will be a point where someone will sit down, reflect, think through, and make very, very important changes to their life.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when we talk about domestic violence includes domestic abuse, which
Yes.
is like physically abusing someone,
Yeah.
financial abuse,
Yeah.
emotional abuse,
Yeah.
and in some
Psychological,
cases,
yeah.
sexual abuse as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, they're all part of
And,
it.
Yeah, sometimes people do think that, the children can't see it. They are too young to see what's going on.
Yeah.
No, it is not true. Research has shown that children, right from pregnancy, they can feel it. Even in the womb,
Yeah.
they can feel what is going on. So if you're a parent, I'm sure you love your child so much. You don't want to see them in all these situations we are going to mention
Definitely,
later on
yeah.
in this video. So here is it is according to research in pregnancy. What happens is if a woman who is pregnant is
Yeah.
being abused, either verbally, so like you're threatening this person,
Yeah.
you're using coercion, using bad words on them, always insulting them.
Yeah.
They can have a miscarriage. So
Yeah.
a woman who is facing domestic violence can have a miscarriage.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can have a stillbirth. So stillbirth is they're able to deliver the baby, but the baby dies
Oh.
before you
Wow.
come home. Yeah, and then you can have preterm. So the baby is born prematurely,
Wow.
all because of the things the mother is going through. During
Yeah.
pregnancy, a lot of hormones are at play, and they affect how this baby comes out. And research has also shown that when women are subjected to domestic violence, when the baby is born, it affects the way the child bonds with the mother.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's some cognitive impairment going on there.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I think that this topic is very, very essential. It's very, very important. And as spouses, when you're married, you're a married couple, I think it's very, very important that you pay attention to it. And especially in the case of men, if you happen to be a man that maltreats, abuse, you subject your wife to physical beating, verbal assault. I believe that it's something that you really have to, work on. And like my wife said, you see, the Bible says something very interesting in the book of Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. It says that train up a child the way they should go, and if they grow up or when they are old, they will not depart from it. You see, the God is wise. Whatever the Bible says, it has its own opposites.
That's right.
So if the Bible is telling you that you should train up your child the way they should go, that if they go, they will not depart from it, you need to know that the opposite is true. What's the opposite? The opposite being that you may indirectly be training your child by virtue of your bad behaviors. So if you are slapping your wife, especially, I'll be touching more on the men. If you're a man, you are physically beating your wife, you are subjecting your wife to verbal assault, emotional trauma, and all whatever you want to name them. Yeah, you should know that your son or your daughter may also be picking this up because you are indirectly training them.
In that way,
Without even knowing.
Yeah.
We are just like mirror to our children.
Yeah.
Whatever they see us do is what they do.
That's right.
So we want to really encourage everyone out there. If you are in this kind of problem, if you're a man I think that it is totally wrong. It is wrong if you're a woman and you also,
insulting your
yeah,
spouse,
your spouse.
pushing them against walls. The children are seeing it,
them.
and
You
in the
pick
end,
them.
they are going to think that this is normal.
Yeah.
That is their normal. Because
Definitely.
remember that the brain of children
Yeah.
is like a plain sheet of paper.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
are imprinting these things on them, and the more they see these things,
Yes.
the more they see them as normal. So they are going to grow up and it's
Yeah.
going to be their normal. So the cycle goes on. They will do it to
Yeah.
their spouses, their children will see it, and then it carries on like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then in toddlers, the effect in toddlers is that I know a lot of children, toddlers, do go have temper tantrums.
Yeah.
But children who live in homes where domestic violence is prevalent
Yeah.
have extreme tantrums, so they throw tantrums and it's uncontrollable. Okay. So, toddlers who are from abusive homes or homes where domestic violence is an issue, they struggle to maintain relationship with other children, or they struggle to bond with children their age. You see, when they are amongst other children, you see them hitting the other children or speaking badly to other children. So this is also like, it's worrying, isn't it? To find a toddler exhibiting that. That is to tell you that they are actually learning. And when you have young children at home, they see you cooking and cleaning, then they start doing it as
Yeah,
well. When
yeah.
they find empty cans, they do role plays like
Yeah,
they're also
yeah.
cooking.
Yeah.
So that is to tell you that every behavior we are exhibiting around our children, they are copying it,
Yeah.
and in one way or the other, they are going to do it.
Yeah.
So let's try and do better.
Definitely.
Because some people will be like, oh, we don't fight in front of the children, but they can hear you shouting.
Sure.
They can feel the tensions in
Sure.
the home.
Sure.
So we need to be careful.
Yeah. I think you've said enough. You've said a lot, and you've touched on all the salient points. But one thing that we need to actually highlight is that if you are in this situation, particularly a man, I'll start with the men. If you're in this situation, you are the type that you can't help yourself. You can't, when it comes to emotionally abusing your wife or physically abusing her. I mean, whatever. Maybe you are subjecting your wife to domestic abuse, and it's something that naturally you don't want to do, but you don't know what comes upon you. You see, to everything, I've always said, I said it in the past, that to every issue on this earth, there's a spiritual aspect and then there's that physical aspect. Deal with this spiritually. Deal with it spiritually. When I say spiritually, you can seek help from pastors. If you have a pastor, you can seek help from friends who can pray for you, because for all you know, it could be
There's more to it.
It could be a battle between yourself and demons, or spiritual entities, and the physical
I
aspect.
think that even before you seek help, take yourself out of that home. For the sake of the children and your spouse.
Yeah.
Take yourself out of that home
for the
before
sanity
it's
of
too
your
late.
spouse. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
And
totally
before,
agree.
before you give all those help advice, I just want to touch on this. I've said about babies before they are born, toddlers, and then for young adults like teenagers to their early 20s.
Yeah.
These are some of the effects as well. Again, they also struggle to maintain relationships with people. Because of anger management issues. A lot of them suffer from depression and anxiety, because a lot of the times they are worrying about their parent, the other parent who is being abused, or if their other siblings are also being abused. They're always worrying about those people, so they can't even concentrate in school. Their academics suffer. They struggle at school. They are calling off sick at school, so to say. So they're always worrying, and chances are, like 75% out of 100, they are going to abuse their partners later on in life, because that is their normal. And I'm sure you don't want all of these things we've mentioned to be a portion for your child. If you love your child, you will not abuse their other parents.
Definitely, 100% agree. Yeah.
So
seek help. Seek help.
That's the main thing.
To every problem on the face of this earth has a problem.
Even the community has support.
Yeah.
So if you speak to your GP confidentially, once you own up to it and speak to your GP, they will direct you. They have for people who abuse women or women who abuse men, they have support for all these people, parenting classes. You can have all of those anger management courses. Have them, and take yourself out of that home so that your children can be secure. Let's secure their future.
Yeah. And if you are the type that don't go to church, I'll be very blunt. Find a Bible-believing church and go. Because for all you know, there's more to this. Spiritually, you're battling with things. Because listen, usually in situations where you do things that you have regret, you do them and you don't know why and
They'll
how.
be begging and crying. You're worried. They don't know what came over them that made them do it.
Good.
There's
You
more
don't
to
know.
it.
So that is where you need to realize that there's more to it. Find a Bible-believing church and go. You probably need prayers. You need deliverance. You have to be delivered. If it's a form of spiritual,
Self-control.
if you're under
It's in the
spiritual
Bible,
influence,
isn't it?
yes, spiritual influence, you need to be delivered. Yeah, and then the physical aspect is what my wife has touched on. And that, listen, the first step to every problem, when you are finding solutions to every problem, is the stage of acceptance. Identifying and accepting that, look, I have this problem.
You have a problem.
I have this predicament and I need help.
Yeah.
That is where you can get the help you need. But if you live in denial and tell yourself,
You don't have a problem.
you live in deception, tell yourself that,
because
look,
this person nags too much. If someone nags and you can't live with them, you don't have to beat them.
yeah,
But let everyone go and sort themselves out.
yeah.
Plus, as my husband is saying, that seek spiritual help. If you are a woman or a man going through abuse, don't wait till they've sorted themselves out or they've sorted themselves out. Move out of that home. Because before you know it, you'll be dead. And a lot of people use this excuse as, I'm staying here because of my children. I'm here. I don't want to leave because of my children. You're doing those children more harm than good. If you listen to all these things we've said about what happens to children who see domestic violence, you're doing more harm to that child than good. So you're better off leaving that home. Find a job so that when you're out of that house, you can look after yourself. Because a lot of women are not leaving abusive partners because if they leave, how are they going to take care of these children? So please, do well. Don't wait till they've sorted themselves out before whatever. They may never sort themselves out because they know that you will never leave. Make a move. God will look after you. Use your senses. Use your brain. Okay?
We are not saying that, we are not encouraging divorce. Let me just be clear about this. The point we are making is that if you get to that stage, which I will refer as the critical stage, you cannot be in a home and the man has turned you into a boxing bag and you are still there.
Punching bag.
Or emotionally abusing you. You've gotten to a certain peak where you cannot handle it anymore. I advise you to leave. Yeah, it's not, we do not encourage, but God also do not encourage abuse. God will not say that be in a marriage where you are being killed. Because listen, is it death sometimes it's a gradual process. When you are subject to emotional trauma, verbal abuse, gradually, as you take the dose, each day you are dying gradually.
Slowly.
Every day you die. Every day you die, and then eventually you
Physical death.
you face out. Yeah. So that is what we are saying. If you get to that point, but if you're at a point where it's just started, it's so fresh, and there isn't, you can start trying to see as a spouse, as married people, you can work things together, try to see. If it gets to a point that is worse, it's getting to a point where at a critical stage, my sister, my brother, run for your life.
I don't think you should even wait for it to get worse. Speak to someone if they are not changing.
That's what we're saying. Yeah, but sometimes when it's at the early stage, it could be that it was just maybe one or two episodes. That at that point you cannot say you are leaving, because no, we will not encourage that.
Let's not get it complicated, but it is what it is. If you think you are in an abusive relationship, you're being manipulated, coerced, spoken to in a way that is not good, just advise yourself and do better. Okay? So seek help if you are the abuser, and if you think you are a victim, take yourself out of the presence of this abuser. It's always been incredible, Mabna, and incredible, Yao.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Okay, bye.
Bye.